Hello?
What's up?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Do you like my little microphone?
What? Wow, that's amazing.
Isn't it? So why am I here? Why did I agree to do this? Why was this my idea?
Let's talk about that
All
because
right.
you were a guest on the last one and kind of didn't work out too well.
Well, yeah, you
And
guys just talked about trading cards the whole time.
well, I'm sorry about that. It was a mistake to have you both on at the same time. And
It's
then
okay. That's just what happens with you and Will.
it does. And then I just told you, I said, hey, if you want to do anything at NYCC, just let me know. And then I kind of got I don't know, it took about maybe like 2 weeks. And then you're like,
Yeah.
maybe.
I couldn't think of a segment, so.
I'm like, Ian, spit it out. What is it? It's like, I think I want to do an interview. Okay. And so
Well,
here you are.
Here we are.
So for the people who don't know who you are, can you talk about who you are?
Sure. My name is Ian Wilcox. I am one half of Good For You Toys, and I live in this warehouse most of the time.
He happens to be sitting at my desk.
Yeah, I thought it was appropriate. You're in my office. Why not? I was going to go upstairs, but it's too hot.
Yeah. Is that really your microphone?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's my headphones broke, so I figured I'd just use this.
Wow.
Thanks, Amazon.
that was an Amazon purchase on purpose?
Yes. For comedic value.
I'm not going to ask you about that.
It's $10.
I see where
$5 per inch.
I see where this interview is going. All right, so tell me. I have to pretend like I barely know you.
Yeah.
So how does this all how does this all start? I guess some people don't know. You work here at DKE.
Yes, I do.
And many of these figures that need help, blisters, repairs, sometimes if people email or get something shipped to you, people have to interact with you. But that's not why you're here. You're here because you do something else too.
What was that?
I don't know.
I don't release anything more than like once every 5 years.
Well, you had a pretty cool release for the last show that sold out.
Yeah, that's good.
Hey, Janky, could you hand me one? It's right there behind the couch. So you are half of Good For You.
Yeah.
Good For You has had a traumatic and turbulent history.
Yeah, we won't go into that.
Oh, we won't? That's the fun part.
It depends. Who's in this room?
Because it started out like there was 3 of you.
There's 3, then it was 2, and then it was 3 again. Now it's back to 2. Creative differences are a bitch.
So this is what Ian and Will did for San Diego Comic-Con.
Look at that. Dave Bondi did all the hard work.
This was silk screened onto metal, stickered on the back.
Yep.
Such a beautiful piece.
Thanks, buddy.
I wonder if there'll be DTA awards this year.
That only happened because you lit a fire under my ass.
Yeah, well, everyone needs some healthy encouragement. I mean, you can't tell me about an idea like this and then be like, oh, I didn't get to it. Like, yeah. I mean, if you're like, oh, I want to do this, and then I'm like, what happened to that? What happened to that? Where is that? When is that happening? Can you go call the dude? Can you go do that? Sometimes. He's like, and then you still have metal pieces. Like you can make another edition.
We could make like 3 more, but that's not the point.
And so then my next logical question is, when's that coming out?
Sometime.
All right. So where are you from originally? And how did you get out here?
I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I don't know. I just decided one day I was gonna just sell the house and leave.
Just like that.
I did. Yeah. I think overall it took me maybe 3 weeks from decision to selling the house and everything. I just found somebody to buy it and I bounced.
And did you need to leave for any particular reason? I mean, you just needed a change of pace? Like you were just done?
It. Change of scenery, change of pace. I saw my family as much as I do now, which is really much, never. So why not?
Got it. Did you get any pushback?
Out here. Oh, of course. I mean, I think up until I got married was when people stopped telling me to move back. So good 4 years of just, when are you coming home?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And then your response was what?
I'm not.
Well, I guess the fact that they refer to it as home. Someone said, "You're welcome." I don't know who you are. Who's?
Oh, that's Alyssa.
Oh, I get it now. You're welcome. Got married.
Yep.
Good job. All right. So then, what happens when you get out here?
Ooh, when I get out here, I move in with my friend who was already out here, who didn't have a job, so I had to find us both jobs.
Mm-hmm. It was your job to find him a job.
I mean, it shouldn't have been. He's a grown-ass man, but
well, we won't say his name here.
We can say it. Dave sucks. He's not watching this. Maybe later. Jakey can cut that out in post. It's fine.
I mean, I just think about myself. Like, if I had to sell a house in 3 weeks, pick up and move to another. Had you been to California before?
Twice, I think.
And
once when I was a teenager, and then once for just a trip.
Did you think it was magical that this was the place you had to be? I mean, what was the draw? Like, why here?
It's night and day from Pittsburgh. I mean, you guys actually have nice weather out here.
I mean, that's why you moved, for the weather?
Food, tacos are good. Legal pot's also a thing.
So it's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
So the culture of Pittsburgh was getting you down?
A little bit. I mean, I lived in a 5-bedroom house by myself, so it was just kind of lonely.
How did you wind up with a 5-bedroom house?
That was my grandmother's house. She passed away, left it to me. And that's that's it.
So was that stressful?
Owning the house?
No, I mean, just selling a house and moving and just leaving, going to a place you've only been to twice before, starting.
Not
I mean,
really.
It's like just starting you might as well move to another country.
I mean, essentially, yeah. No, it wasn't stressful. It was exciting, more than anything. It was just burnt out, needed to change.
Got it. So then you and Dave need to get jobs. So what do you end up doing?
I worked at a burrito restaurant until I submitted an application to a Craigslist ad for a toy warehouse.
Wow. How long were you at the burrito place?
6 months. To the point where I was going to run the kitchen. And I said, I'm out. I can't do this.
He'd been there so long, longer than anybody else. And they're like, dude, Ian, you are going to be in charge of the kitchen.
Yeah, you want to close the store at midnight every night and open it up at 5? Yeah, let's do that.
Wow. All right. So then
do people find this interesting?
You can keep your self-deprecating humor to yourself, sir.
All right.
So what's funny about that Craigslist ad is we'd never had more than 2 or 3 employees at a time. Everyone who's ever worked for us was someone that I knew or a friend of someone, a close acquaintance,
right,
or a recommendation from someone else. And I had, no, it's not true. Manny, where did Manny come from? I think Manny was still referred by somebody else. That wasn't a cold. I don't know.
I think so. I think he said it was somebody else got him there.
Someone else recommended him because I remember Manny, from being in the toy scene before. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as he walked in the door, I immediately, oh, it's Manny. I've seen you before. Like, you came to our booth and bought stuff. Like, it was like, oh, it's my people. I know this guy.
Right.
But when you showed up, I think that was the first time, the only time that I'd ever hired somebody just randomly, like by taking out an ad. Like that's talk about a stressful process. Like you start getting resumes, and then you start getting calls from people, and it's not comfortable.
I mean, according to Sarah in one of the first emails, I was one of like 70 people. So
yeah.
Hopefully it was just my experience.
With burritos?
No, with warehouse management.
Janky is really enjoying this.
All right, well, at least someone is.
Yeah. And so was toys ever a thing or for you growing? I mean, we all have toys growing up, but like, did you ever aspire to collect toys, make toys, or is that something you just totally just wandered into when you walked in through the door?
Completely just wandered into. I mean, I had toys like everybody as a kid, but
sure,
there was never anything about collecting or having one of everything. It was just, I got this Batman and I had a Batman.
Did you ever envision that something like this would happen?
No, not at all. I didn't know what any of this was until I worked at your place for like 3 weeks.
And so how long was it before you guys started Good For You?
Maybe a year.
Got it. And then where
6 months to a year. Yeah.
Where was I in the process of like how this was evolving? What was happening at the time?
The first year.
Is this 2014?
2013. So I've been working for you for like 7 years now.
So sorry.
It's okay. I'm sorry.
Jason says I did it. Just up and moved to California on a whim. Stayed a couple years, then split for Texas. Nice. All right, so 7. So the 2013, we were just starting to sell carded figures.
Not many though. We still had a lot of vinyl. That was like when we did the Van Valkenburg stuff a lot.
Right. And then by 2014, what was the year? What was that first year where we just sold everything? We had like one vinyl toy and just, is that 2014?
Yeah, that was 2014.
So that for the people who are watching, so Comic-Con 2014 was the year that I just kind of had enough with San Diego. Just said, screw it. I'm not here to start, to promote all these other brands. It's too expensive, and the rewards are just, I just didn't know if it was working. It's just spending all this money, and just figured I'm there to sell toys, going to sell as many toys as possible. And 2014 was the first year where, so what year was the Mike Egan show?
2013.
That was 13.
Yeah.
Okay. And that was the year the Phantom Star Killer, and that was the year where Sucklord and I kind of like had it with each other.
Yeah, there was only a few psychedelic things that year.
Like we had the Bert and Ernie, but that was the one where I really pushed for it. He didn't want to do it. I offered him some money. He delivered, and he got really pissed off at our display too. got really mad because I had pegs on the back.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And they were hanging, and it never, as a result, it never done this again. If you look at our display here, there's one of these here, and you don't know if this is the last one or if we have a million of them. And what he did not like, and I learned a valuable lesson, is having all of them sitting there on the peg unsold. Obviously, they all sold eventually. Did not do well for his ego. He was like,
yeah, it makes sense.
That was not cool. But and then from then on, everything was under the table. So 2014 was the year where we sold everything on Wednesday night, and then Sarah had to drive down more product because there was like nothing left at the table. And then that was the year we knew, like,
yep,
this carded figure thing was a thing, and this was our niche, and we were going to go all in. So how so you guys started Good For You, started with 3 of you,
mm-hmm.
Then it became 2 of you. And what sucked about the 2 of you is the 3 of you all worked for me, and then when the 2 of you decided to exercise the other guy, he never showed up for work again. This became my problem. I had to go hire somebody else.
Yeah, he kind of lost it after
that. But we've been talking since, and he wants to make toys.
Huh.
So okay. He shall return. He could be watching right now. I don't know.
Hey, best of luck to him. I always liked Brian.
Me too. Sweet guy. So then it's 2 of you, and then it becomes, then Will comes into the mix, and then Manny's like, fuck you guys, I'm going to become special ed. And then now it's you and Will. And so
more or less, that's the very abridged version.
Yeah. Was it worse than that?
Yes.
All right,
but like I said, we're not going to go into that.
That's all people need to know, really, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
So what's the issue with the output?
I work here. No, okay, all right. Really, I have all the equipment at home to do it. I mean, yes, we could outsource things to people, but then I don't know. Then my hands aren't on everything.
I mean, that's what I always encourage you to do, is just, if you don't want to cast them, just have someone else do it for you. The concept is still good. But yeah, when I was in school, I had a good friend that was a writer, where he was trying to write, and I forgot what happened. He had an opportunity to take a job like writing for somebody else, and he always told me that he would rather get a job as a waiter
and then write for himself.
Yeah. And the same thing with the musicians that I've known, is that there's a lot of talented musicians that are in bands, and they could easily go be in a cover band or be a session musician and play other people's stuff and make a living. Like those people, like, people who can like read music and just play, they make good money. But if you do that 40 hours a week, and then the guys are like, come on, we're going to play a club tonight. And it's like, no way, dude. I want to sit on the couch and watch a movie and have a beer. It's like, it's really hard to mix the two. And what's interesting, talking to Figure Fetish before this, is like having a computer job, or Dustin, who has another job, Block Watch Captain, that are completely different from what they do creatively. So, he said that he comes home. I asked him how long it takes to make, one of these, and he says he makes one a day.
Damn.
He comes home from work, and then he pops out one of these.
That's good
every
output.
day, right? But if he was doing it all day, does that it provides something for a creative person? It provides an outlet, and then when the outlet becomes the job, it's kind of so. But is that frustrating for you, or is it like the need fulfilled?
I don't know how to answer that. I would like to make more, but I don't need to.
Got it.
Same with, collecting. I see all this stuff I don't need it.
Yeah, I see that whole arc. You know, you see something, go, I really want that, and then you have to like deal with it at work, like, you know,
Yeah.
and then at the end of it, you're like,
I just become jaded and don't want any of it.
I don't need that anymore. Yeah, that was like the Steve Sansweet. I used to go to Steve Sansweet's house to, and then realize that I didn't need to collect all that Star Wars shit anymore.
Right.
I could just go to his house and just experience it. And it's like, that's cool. You have Star Wars wrapping paper. I don't need to own that.
Yep, exactly.
My talking alarm clock. Goodbye. Jason Adams says, my art is therapy. Cutting stencils by hand is calming. Yeah, you're nuts, dude. There are lasers that can do that. You're just sitting there like, do. Wow. And those stencils are intense. Yeah. So it just seems like, so what are you going to do? Are you going to retire from toy making?
Oh yeah, for sure. No. I just take sabbaticals.
You just take sabbaticals for years at a time.
About a year or two, and then something gets pooped out.
But until I push you. But then, are you happy? At the end of the day, when you look at this, are you like, oh, this is cool? Like, look what I made.
I mean, I have my artist proof hanging up. I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
I mean, as proud as I can be.
It's not proud enough.
Yeah, it is.
So, what's next?
What's next is the Dungeon of Death and Prizes. You mean in life?
Asking as an interviewer, not as your boss.
Right.
Awkward.
I don't really know.
Yeah.
We have projects planned, but I mean, it really comes down to when are we going to make them?
Got it. Well,
and we'll see. Things are going to be changing soon, so I might have less time to make toys.
Oh yeah, what's going on there?
Gonna be a dad.
GTFO. Congratulations, and I'm sorry.
Thanks on both counts.
It's funny sitting in my office with the lights out and like
it was nice and bright in here earlier.
It just keeps getting darker and darker and darker.
I was gonna sit on the couch and give you more like a last week tonight vibe with a white background, but I figured this is prettier.
Indeed. All right,
and
dude.
I don't have a green shirt to hang out in space. Anyway, right, thanks. Thanks so much for having me. This is great. I don't know if anyone really enjoyed this or not, but it's been real.
I can tell you that Janky did.
All right, well, that's all I need.
All right, dude.
So
we'll see you later.
Yeah, I'll see you in like 10 seconds.
All right, dude. Bye.
Bye.
Serial says it felt like a therapy session. Yeah, that's what it's like around here.